Good evening. Thank you for the privilege of speaking here tonight. It's quite an event, getting 6 candidates to speak. Anyway, I'm a small business owner. I'm married. I have a wife and 3 lovely daughters. I'm totally outnumbered in my household. Anyway, I've been involved with politics for about the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years, very heavily. I've worked probably at least on 50 different campaigns in some capacity. So I do not consider myself some outsider into politics. I'm not a Johnny-come-lately. I'm not a part-time Republican. I've been out there working hard for candidates such as John Hostetler, Congressman Booyer in the 4th, Congressman Sodderl in the 8th. I've worked quite a bit with Mitch and Becky Skillman. Do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Anyway, one thing I'm very proud that I have done, in 2004 I started a group called Citizens for Truth. We formed this group. It was basically me, myself, and I. We formed this group to combat liberal groups such as MoveOn.org. In 2004, we ran a very aggressive campaign against Congressman Baron Hill. Several national media outlets gave us credit for taking a 40-year congressional seat out that Baron Hill and Lee Hamilton held for over 40 years. So I'm pretty proud of my small group. We are aggressive. We go out there and we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves and go at these liberal Democrats. But I hope to get a chance to speak a little bit more on that tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Good evening, Ward County. Thank you, Les and Ward Freedom Makers for setting this up. My name is Christy Risk. I am a wife. I am a mother. I have 4 children. I have a vested interest in this race. I have been looking out at our government for the last 3 years and watching them as they have continued to usurp their constitutional authority. And I decided one day that I wasn't going to sit on the couch and complain anymore, that I was going to get up off that couch and I was going to do something about that. And I was going to run for office. Originally, I was going to run for a state representative, but my good friend Bob Heaton had ran for that before unsuccessfully, and I had worked for him. And I called Bob and I said, Bob, are you going to run for state representative again? Because if you are not, I'm going to, because Vern Venture needs to get out of there. And he said, Christy, I'm not sure. And I said, well, let me know. Well, he called me back and he said, I'm going to run. And I said, all right, you go ahead. I said, I'll go the next step up and I'll run for U.S. representative because this federal government is just usurping their authority. They are out to get this country into a one-world nation, and they are doing everything in their power to move us into socialism away from the good republic that we are. And so I've launched out into this campaign running for this office. And as I've traveled across District 8, I have heard more hope now, true hope, the real hope, of people who are getting engaged, who are being on fire, who are saying, you know what, this is about the people. It's not about what the NRC wants. It's not about what the Republican Party wants. This is about the people and what the people want. And so as I continue to talk to people and listen to people, I feel like I'm on the right track and I'm doing the right thing because I'm going to represent you and fight for you in Washington. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Westell, 37 years of age, been married to my lovely wife Donna for 14 years. We have 2 lovely children, Michaela and Mackenzie. Pick up my flyer on there, you'll look on the bottom corner there, and that's my daughter, and her first turkey that she killed a couple years ago. And she is ready to go hunting again this year and ready to add another one to her trophy case, I guess. So, I was a former state conservation officer. I was a conservation officer for 12 years. Participated in law enforcement, great career. About 3 years ago, I was recruited into the private sector and went out there. I believe that my experience as a law enforcement officer and some of the situations that I encountered are going to be very similar to the situations that we're going to run into in Washington. We do have an out-of-control government. Last year, about a year ago here this week, I joined the first Tea Party rally in Indianapolis, April 15th. I stood with several thousand other fellow patriotic Hoosiers, and we protested what was happening in our government, and no taxation without representation. That lit a fire in me. And from there, I went to meet the Tea Party Express in Bloomington, and the fire only grew. And I followed him to Washington, D.C. for the 9/12 march. And I've never been prouder in my life than this march with over 1 million other patriotic Americans. And I stood at the corner, and I was yelling proud. I was fed up with what I was seeing going on. I came home, I started a pledge site called thepledgetoamerica.org. From there, we went back to Michelle Bachman's house call November 5th. Anybody go back there November 5th? I went back there, went up to see Mr. Ellsworth. After driving 2,000 miles, he couldn't come out and shake my hand. These people have forgotten they serve us, we don't serve them.